Hello.
Hello, Suzanne. Happy birthday.
Hi, Boris.
So should we say how old are you, or is that a secret?
Um, I'd rather not say because, well, just a couple of days ago, someone said the older you get, the wiser you get. But then that way, um, young children have no chance because the older generations impose knowledge on them. Also, I've seen how in pro sports and some performing arts, the older some people get, the less influence they have on the entertainment world, or they're kicked out altogether.
So you feel it's a detriment for your performing career, I should say, to say how old you are.
Yes.
So we'll just say you're older than 21. How's that?
Yes.
Okay. So what did you do today? Did you do anything special?
Well, first I went to church. I thought I ought to, because I haven't been to my church in 5 months.
Oh, so they're open now?
Well, they rope off every other pew, and people going up the aisles have to stay 6 feet away from one another. When it's time to get communion, you sort of have to reach out with your hands in order to get the hosts.
Yeah. So how do you feel about that versus if you're actually protesting something, you could be right next to another person?
I don't quite understand.
Well, you've probably seen the protests that are going on, and people are next to each other, and no governor says anything against it. But if you want to go to church, they're going to make you stay 6 feet away.
I haven't been following the protest news. I have enough to keep me occupied without concerning myself about something that I have no control over.
Right. So you don't have any interest in that.
No.
Okay. But do you feel that's the right thing to do to keep people, 6 feet away in the church, or do you have anything against it?
No, I don't see anything wrong with it.
Okay. Did you have to wear a mask?
Yes.
Did you make your own, or did you buy one?
I bought one. One was sent to me from a company, and I made a third.
No. So what is the one that you made? What does that look like? Did you put any special designs? Or?
No, I didn't. It's made of flannel on one side, so it makes it awfully warm.
So do you have a plan of maybe making an Underdog mask?
No.
No?
Yeah, Scott Cronick asked me earlier today if I had to incorporate a protective mask in any one of my costumes, would I be able to do it? And I said, well, in that case, the only character for which it would work would be Catwoman, because this year's her 80th anniversary, and besides, the costume is mostly black with some white, and she does wear a black Lone Ranger type mask anyway. So by putting a black protective mask over the rest of my face, I'm still integrated.
I see. That makes sense. But who asked you that? I missed the name. Who asked you that? You mentioned the name and I missed it.
Scott Cronick.
Oh, okay. And why does that sound familiar?
Well, Phil referred him to me.
Does he host a show, like another show?
Yes, he hosts a radio show called Off the Press, which originates in Linwood, New Jersey, which is one of the towns next to the bay that separates the mainland from the island towns, like Ocean City, Cape May, Stratmere, Stone Harbor.
Okay, so did you record a show? Should we plug that? Is that something that's going to air soon?
No, that show's live.
Oh, okay. Is it a radio station?
Yes.
Do you want to tell people what it is so maybe they can catch it at some point?
It's called Off the Press. It's on 4 to 6 p.m. weekdays, and it's from station W as in wind, O as in Olga, N as in Nancy, and D as in David.
Okay, so and that's Jersey Shore, and it's Somerset, Jersey. But I'm sure people can probably hear it on the internet as well.
Probably.
Right. All right. So now that we get that out of the way, so what else did you do? Did you go out to get a meal or see your friends?
We were going to go out for dinner, but because of the sporadic rains that have been happening all day and is supposed to last all weekend, I won't be going out for a celebratory meal until Monday.
Okay, I guess it should be nicer so you don't want to get caught in the rain since all the restaurants are seating people outside.
Well, lots of them have protective tents for outdoor eating.
Okay, but you're going to wait till Monday then.
Right. No, I'm going to go on with the order in which I did some things today. When I got back from church, I went up to the rental office for my apartment complex. I knocked on the door, and some people saw me there. They knew that it was time for them to do their thing. See, a week or two earlier, I told the main receptionist that August 13th was my birthday in case the staff wanted to get me a card and put their autographs on it. This they did, but they also opened the door. I didn't go into the room, but they were all clustered in a half circle around that door, keeping their distance, and they sang "Happy Birthday" for me, and then they also gave me a bag with the mini cupcakes and Tootsie Roll Midgies in it.
Oh, that's very nice. So how did that make you feel?
Very happy.
Yeah, I would say so. That's a very nice thing to do.
Well, then I stayed home for a while because I had to open my presents, and wowie. Let's see. Yeah, then I had to wait to hear from Kathy to see whether we were going to go out for a celebratory meal. But like I said, the chances of precipitation all this weekend ruled that out until this coming Monday.
Okay, do you want to mention anything special that maybe you got for your birthday? Or?
Well, let's just say I received a book about a historic personage that I'm known for portraying through dance.
Okay, anything else that's interesting?
Well, I'm glad I got a number of cards with with cats on them.
Oh, that's always nice because you love cats.
I love cats.
Yeah, I think my card had a cat on it too.
Hmm?
I think the card I sent you had a cat on it.
Yes. Yes, it did.
Okay, so anything else do you want to talk about the birthday? I mean, why is birthday so special in general?
Because for one day you're on top of the world. You're celebrating the anniversary of your birth.
And that's it?
Yeah.
Okay. What else? Since you wanted to do this episode and record it, what would you like to talk about?
Trying to think.
I mean, I have some questions from the audience. If you want to answer those.
I didn't know we ever had an audience.
Well, some people are watching, and I got a number of questions for you. So if you want to.
All right.
Okay, so you had the birthday wish from Ana Huerta from Mathis, Texas. She wishes you a happy birthday, and she wants to know what drew you to emulate Underdog.
Well, there were a number of reasons. I was originally exposed to Superman with the vintage TV series starring George Reeves. That was during most of the 50s. I got interested in dance because the dancers were taught to make themselves almost supernatural, phenomenal, within mortal limitations. So that way some of the steps, big jumps, leaps, or twirls were supposed to represent flying without the dancer being hooked up to anything.
Okay, so that
because Underdog, like Superman, was a flying superhero.
Okay, that was the main attraction.
Hmm?
The flying was the main attraction.
Yes, because you have a great many fictional superheroes, but not that many are given that extra special feature by their creators to fly under their own power.
Okay, so you have another question from Molly Ringworm. Now, I don't know if those are all, I mean, some of them are, what you call it, internet names or usernames, so I'm not sure if this is a male or female, but the question is, would you be interested in doing movie reviews or commenting on current events?
No.
No on both or just one?
Both.
Okay, how come no movie reviews? You wouldn't comment on movies?
I don't watch that many different kinds of movies, and when critics go into detail about the casts, the special effects, the costumes, the sets, and so on, that calls for some background knowledge or expertise into those elements and procedures that make motion pictures possible.
And then you feel that you don't have that knowledge?
Right.
And you wouldn't even just offer your opinion about what you like and what you don't like?
Well, like I said, there aren't that many movies that I'm interested in.
Okay, what type of movies do you usually watch?
Family friendly, uh, sometimes comedy. Sometimes I've seen tragedies. Movies that have worthwhile topics.
Okay, what's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie?
Yeah.
I don't think I have one.
Okay, but if you had to just choose one that you like.
I just can't think of one.
Okay, and you have no interest in current events? You wouldn't comment on any of that?
When all through school, I was pressured to be aware or concerned about current events, but then going to all that trouble didn't make me a better person. For one thing, all through school, no matter what grade I was in, some other students always picked on me and got me into trouble with my teachers or even the principals.
Because you were interested in current events?
No, because I was pressured to be interested in this and that and the other thing, because grown-ups demanded it, not my own generation.
Because for you,
like I said, going to all that trouble. After going to all that trouble, I was no better off.
So you were just interested in whatever you're interested in, nothing else really, matters to you? I'm just curious to know. I'm not saying it's the right thing or a wrong thing to do. When you said they didn't make you a better person, what did you mean exactly?
Well, I wasn't. When it comes to being aware of public events, in the long run, I didn't become a journalist or in the case of crime, a police officer or forensic expert. Somehow, in being interested or concerned about any given topic, somehow you have to become a big authority on that and extend that over everyday business. Sort of like putting all your eggs into one basket.
Okay. Well, that's fine. That's certainly an opinion. So Guy has a question for you. Now, I know you don't like to talk about what you do as a job or whatever, but what do you feel is your, let's say, what do you consider yourself when it comes to a profession?
I'm a performing artist.
Okay. That's a good answer. Now, Lee's Boots has a question for you. And I don't know if he heard many interviews that you did, because if he did, he probably would have an answer. But he's asking, is there something else you're interested besides Underdog? Like, what are your other interests? Does this questioner want to know only about other characters, or just things that I do in general? Well, I guess whatever your interests are. I have made up several movement styles. You remember I did figure jogging on Jimmy Kimmel. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, but then figure jogging never became an exercise or entertainment
institution.
Well, that's right. But what other interests do you? What else are you interested in? I know you're interested in like historical Dracula. You're interested in that. You're interested in Catwoman, Supergirl. What else? I know sewing, right? And that's your art form.
Yeah, sewing, making costumes, baking and decorating cakes, making chocolate cream-filled candy cups.
Okay, so baking in general.
You can't say that about candy making. In order to make candy, I never put the raw ingredients inside an oven.
Oh, okay. So you make what? You melt chocolates? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I melt. Yes, I melt chocolate. Sometimes I melt other colors of wafers.
Okay, well, that's a number of different interests. So hopefully that answers the question. And you have I probably mispronounced this. Die Grotesque or Die Grotesque. I'm probably butchering this, but he says hello from Germany. And the question is, are you familiar with Norm Macdonald? He's a comedian.
No.
So you never saw him?
I never heard of him or her, whatever it is.
Oh, Norm Macdonald is a man, yes. But he was on Saturday Night Live, and he's a popular comedian, stand-up comedian.
Well, where did he perform? In Germany or some other country?
No, the United States. The person who said hello is from Germany.
I really don't go for comedians because at least half the time their jokes aren't that funny. And I remember for a couple of years late in his life, my father tried to make clever jokes or puns around the house, and they just weren't funny. We said, "No, Dad," and so after about 2 years, he gave it up. But he was always zealous about education, about practicality. You cannot say that about his jokes. He wanted everybody around him to be great intellects.
Do you remember any of them?
Any of what?
His jokes.
I remember a couple, but they really weren't funny, and they'd be offensive for our audience to hear.
Well, why don't you tell me if they're offensive? I'll bleep them. You can tell them, and if they're offensive, I'll bleep them. I'll cut it out.
All right. Usually for Easter Sunday dinner, my mother would want me to make a cheesecake as the dessert, because sometimes other members of the family came over, or at least half the time, one of my brothers plus his only son. Now, at one time, I looked at the finished cheesecake, and it seemed to me that the crust was higher and thicker than I had prepared it. And then Dad said, "Well, obviously that means crust has risen."
I see. So that was his joke that you found offensive.
And it was offensive, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, it's not that funny, I guess. What else? Do you remember another one?
No, I can't think of any others.
Okay. Do you have a favorite joke yourself?
I made up a riddle a number of years ago, but if I were to say it now, it's not the appropriate time because it's not that holiday season yet.
Well, just go ahead anyway.
What did the sheep say after reading Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol?
Okay, what?
Humbug.
Okay, well, I guess that's a little better than your dad's joke.
Huh?
I said that's better than your dad's joke.
Oh, that's better than you said.
Yeah.
Phew, that's a relief.
Okay, so you like more like kids type of jokes.
Kid-like jokes?
Yeah, like something that's family friendly, you know.
Yes, exactly.
Like, what do you call a fish with two knees?
I never heard that.
Tuning fish.
Oh, like tuna. Yeah. I never heard that before.
Well, it's for kids. I'm not saying it's a high quality joke, but those are the kind of things you like. Non-offensive, family-friendly jokes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, what else before we wrap it up? Do you want to say anything else?
I want to say that my birthday wish is that soon I can return to work and public performances.
Okay, well, I hope that comes true, and I'm sure everybody else feels the same way because people are kind of getting fed up with this quarantine and the virus. So how do you feel about it after how many months it's been now? 6 months, 5 months? Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Well, I'm anxious for those things to start again because having to stay home most of the time with the walking only short distances for not that much time deprives me of the physical workout that I get at the job at which I have to support myself. I get a good workout when I'm at this job, and I lost some weight as a result, and now I haven't been at that job or getting that workout for 5 months.
Right. So do you feel like you gained some weight? That's a lot of people have that problem.
Yes, I went to a doctor's a couple of weeks ago. They did weigh me, and it proved that I had gained weight by not being nearly as active as I was for hours at a time when I had that workout at my irrelevant supporting job.
Right. Plus, when you're walking your parades, that's a long walk too. So that probably burns some calories as well.
Yes, but I don't want to be stereotyped as just a parader. I started doing parades because I wasn't getting that many opportunities on stage or television. Now with Phil and Checkerboard Kids, I'm still on television an average of once every 2 months, but I haven't been on a stage in several years.
Right. So hopefully this will end soon enough, and then you can get back to your normal. So what do you want to say in closing so we can wrap it up?
If the quarantine continues as far as Christmas, parents have to make sure, although their children are at home most of the time, not to deceive them about about Santa Claus. In North America, Santa Claus is blown out of proportion. Other countries may not have him. They have other fanciful Christmas characters, but if they're just make believe, they have to make sure the children understand and not make the children believe in unreal things, because sooner or later the parents turn the tables and say that the children should be concerned with reality only.
And we covered all that in the last Christmas special, and you can, I guess people can go back and listen to that one in detail. But thank you very much, Suzanne, for another conversation, and we'll talk soon. Okay, enjoy the rest of your birthday.
Yes.
And have a good evening.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Boris.
All right, Suzanne.
Bye-bye.
Bye.